Ya lo dije en el video de The Big Short, para mí todo lo que toca a MAQE se convierte en oro y Winning Time, la serie de Los Ángeles Lakers que salió por HBO, no es la excepción. Hacía un tiempito que tenía ganas de poder dar con alguien porque la vi de punta a punta y me gustó muchísimo esta nueva serie que ya tiene anunciada una segunda temporada y di nada más y nada menos que con John Patrick Small, el encargado de interpretar a Larry Bird. Es decir que si todo va bien es un actor que volveremos a ver en el futuro de la serie, pero por lo pronto hablamos de cómo fue ponerse en los zapatos de Larry Bird, qué fue lo que investigó y cómo fue también rodar esas magistrales secuencias de partidos de básquet, todo en este informe sobre Winning Time.
We now return to Mira Akien and Contre with our latest interview.
I played basketball with Quincy the other day, and he was recognized, and someone asked to take a picture with him, and I was like, "Oh, I'll take it for you." And Quincy's like, "You know, this guy's on the show too." And the person looks at me and goes, "Oh, Larry Bird?"
Leave the dynasties to me.
Yo, what's up, Larry?
Come on, Red. You afraid of competition?
No, but you're no competitor.
I think they did a really good job casting, but then hair and makeup did like the superb, like detailed job of getting everyone into like the right mind state for like, all right, now I'm actually this character. The main thing for becoming Larry Bird was really amplifying the competitive edge that he kind of played with, right? Like him and Magic were both these two huge competitors. And I mean, people always used to say Bird, you know, he hustled more because he wasn't the most athletic and stuff like that. And people forget that Magic put in a lot of work like Bird did. And that's kind of why even when they have this like tension throughout the whole season, they still respect one another. As much as like, you know, they're playing against each other and this rivalry's building and all that type of stuff. So it was really amplifying that competitive edge. And I mean, mainly just getting into his mindset and like becoming him physically on and off the court was definitely key to getting into that character.
Shut the fuck up. He's there. I ain't.
The other thing about the characters is the dynamic that the two of you, they are the real Larry Bird and Magic Johnson had, and that you replicated on the show. How was like filling those shoes and doing that?
Yeah, it's weird because when people ask me about like, was there a lot of like weight on your shoulders trying to play this role, because it's such an iconic person, right? Like one of the greatest NBA players of all time for both Quincy and I. And I think that it happened so fast from me getting cast to being on set and doing this that I felt like really free and on set with, you know, everyone was like open arms and everything, that I didn't really notice how big it was until after we finished. It was like, oh wow, I just did a show that's going to be on HBO. Adam McKay is producing, and it's like, whoa, this is real. When it first came on, the HBO logo and then the premiere and all that stuff was like, oh, this is really happening. Because for some time in between, you're in this like acting limbo of like, all right, we shot this, we ended in October, and like, yeah, like the premiere is in March or whatever. Like we'll see how it turns out, and then it's like, oh, the show's amazing, and it's like just killing it week in and week out, and I'm a part of it. So it's still wild to me.
We've got a shot here to win it all. You know how rare that is.
YouTube was, I think, a big tool for you, like to recreate, like to impersonate him. What did you look up, like to learn how to be Larry Bird?
Yeah, I looked up a lot of just miscellaneous interviews, like obviously the main ones that pop up on the feed, but I would be going like 2, 5, 6 pages deep, like just seeing how many interviews I could kind of siphon through. And then watching a bunch of games and just watching how he like walked on and off the court, like his physicality and how he held himself. And so YouTube was a huge resource to me. My wife probably got irritated with the amount of times I was replaying these interview clips, because they're, you know, most of them are only like a minute and a half. They're like cutaways from certain games, and it's just them interviewing him for like a minute and a half, and I'm just playing that on repeat. just so that it gets in my head over and over again.
Yeah.
So yeah, YouTube was very instrumental.
And what was like the trickiest thing, maybe to learn how to say, or like a movement, a gesture? What was the trickiest part of Larry Bird?
Yeah, I think the trickiest was the accent and just making sure that I got that down. Because it's like a mixture between Midwest and Southern a little bit, because he was like Southern Indiana, and I didn't want it to come off like a cartoon, you know? So getting that down was probably the most difficult, because the way that he moved physically, he's like no nonsense personality wise, and no nonsense when he's like walking. Like there's no hesitation in what he does. He knows what he's doing. He's going to do it. Yeah. And yeah, he had like really good posture. So every time that I was going to get into character, I would just stand up as tall as I could, put the shoulders back, and then just walk like I had purpose for everything I had in my life.
Won't be on there tomorrow. Be me up there, winning me a ring.
Don't matter none. Ain't against me, nobody gives a shit.
Like when I was looking up interviews and stuff, it was mostly just to get the, like how he said certain words down. Cause, you know, doing like the accent work like that, there are certain words that are like very different when others are kind of, you know, similar to the way that I speak, or the way any general American accent is. But like even the way he says life is life, like very, very distinct. Like finding words like that really showed where I needed to change my dialect a little bit within the script. So I would dive into the interviews, take that from there, and then like go at the scripts, and then just try to flush those out as much as possible to be like, all right, I got these down pat. And then if they ask me to improv, then I'll be ready to go when that happens.
What about the basketball match? How much was real of this? Like, did you have to recreate the plays? Do you have like maybe just to get 2 or 3 plays and then it was free game? Like, how was that?
Yeah, a lot of it was planned out by our basketball coordinator, Edon Ravine. Like the trash talking scene that I have, that was obviously scripted and stuff. And the other trash talking some was improv, some was scripted. But there are beats that they wanted to hit like story wise. And then there would be like one of the days it was just like, all right, we're just going to roll the cameras and you guys are going to play basketball for 5 minutes and we'll see what we can pull from that. So it was kind of a mixture of those type of things, so they can get like what felt like in-game, like real in-game footage, and then also make sure they still hit all the beats story-wise that they wanted to hit.
Yes, yes, yes! Magic Johnson is smiling like the sun. We may be looking at Rookie of the Year here, folks.
Larry, leave me the fuck alone.
I don't know much, but I'm hoping that you're right in there being more of a Larry Bird presence for sure. I mean, the guys in green win the championship in 1981, so there's got to be something that nods to that a little bit. So that'll be some good vengeance. But other than that, yeah, I'm just like waiting to see what they have written down, and I can't wait to read the scripts.
It's showtime.
The thing I really wanted to keep were the shoes, but I didn't keep those either. So season 2 comes around, wardrobe might be missing a couple things at the end of it. So